There's this trend popping up in real estate. It's packaged as the super sophisticated modern way to sell your home, an exclusive off-market strategy. But today, we're going to pull back that curtain and ask a really important question. Is this VIP treatment actually a trap that could end up costing you a whole lot of money?
So, yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? Are these exclusive off-market strategies really getting you, the seller, a better deal? Or is there something else going on here, something that's not quite so obvious? So the pitch goes something like this. An agent comes to you and says, "Hey, let's keep your listing exclusive. We'll market it privately just through our network." It sounds fancy, right? Special, like you're getting some kind of inside track. But does that promise actually deliver? Okay, to really understand what's happening, we've got to realize this isn't some brand new revolutionary idea. Nope, it's actually a pretty old concept, just dressed up in a new high-tech package. Let's just call this what it really is, a company FSBO. Think of it like a for sale by owner, but instead of just you trying to find a buyer, the entire pool of potential buyers is restricted to just the agents and clients from one single real estate company. The main takeaway here is really simple. Your home's exposure is being limited on purpose, right from the get-go. And here's the absolute crucial difference. With a regular for sale by owner, you know what you're getting into. You know you're limiting your buyer pool, that's the trade-off. But with a company FSBO, that exact same limitation is actually pitched to you as a benefit, an exclusive advantage. And that right there is a massive difference when it comes to being upfront about what's going on. This is where we got to look at the data. I mean, this isn't just a theory. For more than 40 years, the numbers have told one single, incredibly consistent story. When you bypass the open market, when you limit your home's exposure, you almost always walk away with less money in your pocket. So what does that limited exposure actually cost you? Okay, let's look at the hard numbers from the National Association of Realtors. The median sale price for a for sale by owner home is $360,000. Just burn that number into your brain for a second. Now, what about a home sold by an agent on the open market with maximum full blast exposure to every buyer out there? $425,000. Wow, that's a pretty staggering difference. And when you see it on a chart like this, it just becomes crystal clear. We're talking about an 18% gap. Think about that for a minute. On a $400,000 home, that's tens of thousands of dollars just gone, left on the table. And this isn't a fluke. This data is consistent year in and year out. This is the proven cost of restricting your buyer pool. Okay, but maybe statistics aren't your thing. So let's look at the stories. And not just any stories, let's look at the people who created the very businesses designed to help you sell without an agent in the first place. Okay, so meet Colby Sombrato. This is the guy who founded ForSaleByOwner.com. I mean, if anyone on earth should have believed in the power of selling your own home, it's him, right? He put his own New York condo on the market, used his own platform, and he waited and waited for 6 long months. And then he gave up. He hired a broker who put the condo on the open market, the MLS. And the result? As a Wall Street Journal reported, he got multiple offers. And the condo sold for $150,000 more than what he was originally asking. Unbelievable. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's just a one-off, a fluke. Well, let's look at Al Banati. He was the CEO of a rival company, BuyOwner.com. He had this huge multi-million-dollar estate to sell down in Florida. When his own money was on the line, what do you suppose he did? He didn't use his own service. He went out and hired a traditional agent and put it smack dab on the open market for everyone to see. The pattern here is, well, it's impossible to ignore. You see, these aren't just cute little stories. They are powerful data points. We have to see them for what they are. When the people who literally built the entire FSBO industry had their own skin in the game, their own money on the line, they all made the exact same choice: maximum exposure. Every single time. So why is that? I mean, what is it about the open market that makes it so much more powerful? Let's break down the actual mechanics of it. Here's a really great way to think about it. A limited exposure strategy, that's like a little restaurant with just a handwritten sign taped in the window. You're just kind of hoping the right person happens to walk by at the right time. But the open market, that's like listing that same restaurant on every single food delivery app, every review site, and every map platform, all at the same time. Suddenly, every hungry buyer in the entire city can see you, and they can see you all at once. And that little phrase, all at once, that's the absolute key. It's not just about reaching more buyers over a longer period, it's about all the potential buyers discovering your home on the very same day. That shared knowledge, knowing that other people are seeing it too, creates urgency. It creates real, actual competition. And that competition is the engine that drives the price up. Now, of course, there's always a counterargument. You'll hear these claims, right? Something like this one, that a company's private off-market listings actually sell for more, maybe even 3% more. And, it sounds pretty compelling, doesn't it?
But you have to ask the next most important question, 3% more than what? And the answer is so revealing. It's not 3% more than the entire open market. It's 3% more than their own company's other listings do on the open market. And when you dig in, you find that their open market listings are already underperforming the average. So they're essentially bragging, hey, we do slightly better than our own already below average results. That is not a win for you, the seller. And the wider data backs this up completely. Zillow looked at millions of sales and found this kind of pre-market strategy can cost sellers up to 3.7% of their final price. Another huge study found these listings take, on average, 17 days longer to sell and, at the end of the day, offer no price advantage at all. The data always points in the same direction. And this all brings us to a really important idea in real estate: fiduciary duty. You see, an agent has a legal and an ethical obligation to act in their client's absolute best interest. Their job is to get the best possible outcome for their seller. Full stop. So that brings us to one last really powerful question to think about. If these private, limited exposure strategies truly got sellers more money, wouldn't agents have a legal duty to only use them? Seriously, we'd have an obligation to get rid of the open market, to abolish the MLS entirely. The fact that we haven't, the fact that the open market is still the gold standard, well, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know.